Good Tuesday morning, friends, and happy 12th day of Christmas. For those who may not know me, I'm Reverend Jennifer Finley, our Momentum and Discipleship Pastor here at First United Methodist Church in Kirksville. And it is indeed the 12th day of Christmas. And so it is good to have this moment to pause as we conclude the Christmas season. Those of you who are used to seeing Teresa Eads on Tuesday morning, she'll be back next Tuesday at this time. We're shifting up some rhythms as we shift into past this Christmas season into the new year, and I know many of you are as well. It always seems like these few days after we finish up the New Year's holidays and we're still in those 12 days of Christmas, they always seem to have a little bit of unsettled rhythm as we figure out what new rhythms look like. That seems to happen every year, if you're anything like me. But this year in particular, most of us have been living with unsettled rhythms and changing rhythms for months. And so maybe it feels a little bit more unsettling this year to have everything shifting. I know many of you are either shifting back into work mode after holiday time off, or you're shifting back into school mode for some of our children, or some of our college students are shifting into a mindset of thinking about, in the next week or two, thinking about second semester. All of that while our world still feels very unsettled. So wherever you are, if you're anything like me, you're looking for a little way to ground, to settle into this new time. And for me, that was me this morning. And so I was looking for a way to settle and root and ground. And I opened up a devotion that I often use as we move through the Christmas season. It's meditations on some of John Wesley's hymns, the founder of Methodism. And this was the one for the 12th day of Christmas, for today. This is from Ephesians. For this reason, I bow my knees before the Father, from whom every family in heaven and earth takes its name. I pray that according to the riches of his glory, he may grant that you may be strengthened in your inner being with power through his Spirit, and that Christ may dwell in your hearts through faith, as you are being rooted and grounded in love. I pray that you may have the power to comprehend with all the saints what is the breadth and length and height and depth, and to know the love of Christ that surpasses knowledge, so that you may be filled with the fullness of God. As I read that, what caught me is this line, that Christ may dwell in your hearts and through faith as you are being rooted and grounded in love. Following this is the words of a John Wesley hymn, one that I have loved since I was young, standing on the pew, yes, on the pew, looking at the hymnal with my father, singing these words, love divine, all loves excelling, joy of heaven to earth come down. Fix in us thy humble dwelling, all thy faithful mercies crown. Jesu, thou art all compassion, pure, unbounded love thou art. Visit us with thy salvation, enter every trembling heart. Breathe, O breathe, thy loving spirit into every troubled breast. Let us all in thee inherit, let us find our second rest. I found those words powerful on this 12th day of Christmas, this reminder that God's love is so powerful. And so I'm wondering, what is rooting you and grounding you in God's love right now? In those times of unsettled rhythms when you need a reminder, what do? It might be something as simple as breathing in and out. It might be something as simple as a deep breath in and a deep breath out with the words, God is love. Or it might be something you feel I'm sitting by a fireplace because one of the things I do when I need to know and sense and feel some grounding in the chaos is sit by a fire. Now, I have a fake fireplace at home. I'm actually sitting next to our gas fireplace in the gathering space in our church building. And while this space is empty, and I look forward to the day when it will no longer be empty and there will be people in it, I wondered about an invitation today. Because sometimes what we do when we need to root and ground in God's love, sometimes that means going someplace, changing location, maybe going for a drive. I know many of us go out to Thousand Hills. For some of us in the past, that has been this building. And so if you are longing for rooting and grounding in that way, know that when the office is open, come visit us. We can have a distanced and masked chat by the fire, or if you simply need to sit by the fire to feel the warmth of God's love in a physical way, you're always welcome. And as I sit here, I am staring into the beautiful sunlight streaming into our sanctuary. It's beautiful in some new ways because it's coming in different ways as we've replaced some outside glass on our stained glass windows. I see God's love streaming in. I sense the love coming from all of you who aren't in there but out there. And there will be a day again when we stand shoulder to shoulder in a sanctuary and we sing with gusto this hymn. And that will be a beautiful moment I look forward to. In the meantime, if you are the kind of person that tangible reminder of God's love means coming to a physical place, know that when our office is open, you're always welcome to come and pray. And look forward to some ways in the coming weeks as we move into February, where we have some open opportunities during the week to come and pray in the sanctuary. But I know that in these days that may still seem very unsettled, do those simple things. Look for those simple ways that remind you, root you, and ground you in God's love. For God's love is incredible. As these words from Wesleys said again, love divine, all loves excelling, joy of heaven to earth come down. Fix in us thy humble dwelling, all thy faithful mercies crown. Enter every trembling heart. Breathe, oh breathe, thy loving spirit into every troubled breast. Friends, whether you are troubled today or settled today, know that God's love is amongst us. God's love is with us. God's love is on the move. And so on this 12th day of Christmas, may we go in that knowledge and in that peace, dispersed, but always together in God's love. We'll look forward to moving into our more accustomed rhythms of our weekly devotions the rest of this week and into next week. See you later, friends.